What's up, everybody? Dark Knight 316, Robert Wheeler Gaming, and this is the Roundtable Podcast, episode 31. Alright, let's get going. So, what'd you have to bring for drinking today?
So I found this Ultra Wild Passion. I don't know if you can, how clear you can see that in there, but that one, I've never tried it.
He brought two of them. He found two of these in the wild.
Yeah.
Not passion, but wild. Let's see how this is.
Oh, I've been waiting for you all morning. Oh, it's good.
Actually, not bad.
Has a little bit of mango or something in there, so. You gotta read our snacks on this video.
So, what have you been playing? You still finishing up Yakuza?
I'm still finishing up Yakuza. I just got Namba back, so I'm in chapter 10. So from trophy-wise, it says there's 15 chapters, so hopefully I can finish that up, and hopefully this year I can finish this game, but we'll find out.
There's still a lot to do with the side missions, because once you get to that little Japan part that you were at the beginning of the game, there's like an arena that you have to go to. You have to complete the arena. That for the trophy. There's some other ones that you get to, but you could always go back to it once you beat the game.
Yeah.
So it's not like something that you would have to do right away. You could do it when you come back.
The weird thing though is I'm already like 45 hours in this game. I don't normally, like I told you, it has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I don't normally play a game that long if I got if it has its ups and downs. Yeah. So it's hooked me a little bit. But.
Yeah, you'll take the taxi to get to the other parts of Japan. To get back to them, like if once you beat the game, you'll go back to the one part, and if you need to go to the other parts of the town, you'll just take the taxi to do it. So what I've been playing is, like in the last episode, Dragon Quest III, I've already beat the game. I'm doing all the post-game stuff now, and there's a weird boss that's he's not the super boss, but he's the boss that you get, that you have to beat like 6 times just to get everything from him. And when you beat him the first time, he grants you a wish every time you beat him. But there's like 6 things that you got to do, so you got to beat him 6 times. But each time, you have to beat him within so many amount of rounds. So it's like the first time, you have to beat him within 30 rounds. Second time, 25. And it goes all the way down to 15 rounds. So you got to be strong enough to go and beat him. But this boss is kind of like the Shenron dragon from Dragon Ball Z. So he grants you a wish, kind of like how the Dragon Balls grant you the wish. It's basically like that. And so, in order to get the remaining characters to book on your enemies list, you have to have him open up the optional dungeon. So when you open up the optional dungeon, you fight the super boss. And then you'll be able to get everything that you need. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying out the super boss one because I'm trying to decide on... Because there's this one stage in the last level that you fight these Hydras. They're like the super Hydras. And they give you like 30,000 XP. And that can gain you like within one turn or whatever. If you fight 3 of them. You can gain a level each right quick. And so I don't know if I should do that or
you should,
or just go through
as soon as you can,
or just go through the optional dungeon where I'm going to be fighting these harder guys and build up that way too. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm probably just going to go through optional dungeon, see if I can handle it. If I can't, then I'll go level up, because they say for this optional dungeon you should be around 65, and I'm only at like 50 something. 60 something. So
you should probably, so you could build up and get the optional stuff going.
So our first story here, you can see it on the screen, is Tales 30th anniversary illustrates hints at the next remaster. So if you look at this picture here,
gosh, I don't think I can name them all.
All the games, all the people that they show here have had a game remastered or a game that's already came out. But no, the guy with the red hair.
This guy?
That guy. That guy's
so these
from...
two are Zillia. This is Tales of Grace's F.
Yes.
Berseria.
And
Arise.
And that's Arise, yes.
So it's this guy.
This guy there, he's from Tales of Abyss. So, them showing off just this picture here may have hinted that Tales of Abyss will be the next one besides Berseria. That's already been announced. So, There's a YouTuber out there named was David. He was mad that they brought out Berseria because there's tons of the Tales games that are stuck on consoles that like we're not going to go play. So hopefully, because the Tales people said that they're going to, this is like was a 2-year plan, and that they were going to release it like a bunch of games within the 2 years, and mostly they've been releasing games that have already been remastered kind of game, and they're just remastering them basically. And so most of these ones don't even really need a visual upgrade or anything like that. Basically, all what they're bringing out is basically like the definitive edition, where it's all the DLCs and stuff like that. Which
I'm excited to play Berseria.
Fine, but like I'd rather have Tales of Destiny 2, Tales of Grace's F, like all those ones come out of, because Destiny and Destiny 2 are stuck on PS1. There's the the Tales of Fantasia stuck on like the OG Nintendo or the Game Boy Advance. So it's like some of these games like they should get out. And on our later stories that we're gonna talk about, this could be the reason why like some of this stuff can't come out and stuff like that. But you never played Berseria. I played it. It's different from the other Tales series, as in like she's the protagonist and the antagonist basically, because like she's just a normal person, but then like falls down this hole, gets attacked by this demon wolf, and then now she can transform into a wolf. But when she transforms, she doesn't remember anything, and then when she's back to her normal, like she has kind of like the demon possessed arm.
Yeah, which is cool. I think it works. My biggest thing was when I started playing, because I got into really the Tales games around Symphonia when they brought it out on the PS3. So I didn't really we've had them, but I've never really played them since Symphonia, and I really love Symphonia. That's probably my favorite one. And then I started going through just I went through the second one, and then Zillia was good too. And then I really just stopped playing it, because by the time I started playing them,
there was too many of them.
Zestiria was out, and I didn't really play Zestiria. And then Berseria came out. I thought it looked really good, but it was just kind of like I think during that time I got a lot of fatigue with RPGs, because it was like there were so many of them I'd been wanting to play. And then now that I'm getting back into the last couple of years, I've been playing RPGs nonstop. But I think like this one, I actually want to, because I went and recently this year I platinumed Tales of Grace's F. So I want to go back.
That was a really good game.
That was really good. So I want to go back and platinum, every single one. So I don't know if I should start with this one.
This one was a good one too. Zestiria was okay. It's not really the best one, because in Zestiria, most of your characters that you get on your team are not human.
Yeah, but you think about it this way.
It's a weird story.
The way that Tales is doing things is the same way Final Fantasy is doing things, but like fans still start tripping out. Like, why don't they do this? Because you got to think what. So Arise came out 2020, 2021, something like that. The following year they released. Remaster, I believe it was, and then the following year after that, 2 years later, they released the DLC for Arise. And then they've just been, each year, instead of making a new Tales of game, they've been releasing re-releases.
Yeah, but I thought that they said that they were going to do a remake and then bring out a new entry. A new entry.
No, but I think what they're doing is they're starting to try to do what like Final Fantasy is doing, because instead of coming out with like a new Tales of game, they're remastering their old stuff to get you kind of back into the series. Because if they didn't release anything, then the hype probably for a new Tales game would be like, but getting in the new fans of being able to play the Tales of series again, because you gotta think, maybe a lot of people just got a PS4 or a PS5 and they get to play this game. And this game is coming out, Berseria is coming out for Xbox and PC, and Switch, which they've never come out for before. Yeah. So they're re-releasing it and making it multi-platform. So I can see why they're doing it, but yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that there's other games out there that are more fan favorites. But like, I'm excited to play.
Yeah,
it. I can't wait to be able to play it.
But like, they could bring out the Destinies and Destiny because they're going to be stuck on the old consoles if they're not going to be bringing those out anytime soon. That might be the plan, though. And like those are good games. Like Destiny and Destiny 2. Like the reason why I ended up liking that series is because it reminded me of Star Ocean. Mm-hmm. It's basically almost the same game as Star Ocean.
The way you walk back and forth like that.
Yeah, from the sideways run to attack and stuff like that. I mean, now they made it 3D, but like the old school ones were back and forth, and then also kind of like in Star Ocean stuff, they had like the little kind of like the mana stuff where you get these element people, you get the different ones like that. So it reminded me so much like it that at one point I couldn't remember which one was Tales and which one was Star Ocean because they're pretty much the same.
That's the thing too, because after Yakuza, I'm debating my next RPG. I was thinking about playing Horizon Forbidden West, so I could finish that up because I never got to finish it. But like, I want to play 12, but then part of me also wants to play Zestiria to get into
Berseria,
because next year I have a wild goal. I want to finish all Tales games. Platinum them, not just play through them, but platinum them. Same with all the Star Oceans. I want to platinum all Star Oceans. Platinum all but maybe 9 and 14, of course, of Final Fantasy. So platinum all those, get all the Resident Evils done, and if I can, get all Assassin's Creeds. So like, that's my goal. I'd like to be able to do that, but I don't know if I can. Just the amount of time and stuff like that, especially because you figure RPGs take 100 hours. That could take you 3 months if you're working, doing whatever. But that's my goal. So I think the next Tales game is probably, because I'm trying to think, all on the PS3 I have all the Tales Platinums but Zestiria.
Yeah.
So I can
Zestiria brought out the PS3 and PS4.
So I can do it on the PS4 one. Don't have to do for both. So I could do Zestiria. Then I'm thinking Vesperia.
And then you already platinum Tales of Grace's F on the PS4, but they had it on PS3 as well.
I had it on the PS3 before it came out on the PS4. I started playing it. So I think I'd do 3. So I think Zestiria, kind of finish that PS3, even though it's on the PS4. Finish that PS3 Platinums. Then go through Vesperia, which was really good because I played it on Xbox. So that one was pretty good. So I do Vesperia, and then I think Berseria, and then go into any of these other ones. Probably replay Zillia and things like that.
There was no point to re-release that Tales of Symphonia because they already had a remastered for that one.
But if you wanted to argue it, you could say, well, they had it on the Wii, and then they also had it on the PS3, and then now they have it on the...
No, but because they got it off of the PS3 and the Wii one to bring it to the modern console, but they already had it on the PS4. That was the remastered definitive edition with all the DLC, so why re-release it just for the PS5?
But that's the whole thing, too, is like what I was talking about, was you got to look at, like, Vesperia came out, Symphonia came out, what, like 08, 09, something like that. Around that time, let's just say Wii, on the Wii console, got re-released later on the PS3. So we'll say a 15-year period, and you've already gone through a PS4 and halfway through PS5 life cycle. Most people probably aren't going back to play Symphonia, so they're remastering it to bring it to make it for modern day audience. Most people aren't going back to do that. Yeah, but if
you had the PS4 version, you can upgrade it to the PS5 version or play it
they don't
on
have
your
a PS4 version of Symphonia.
Yeah, they do.
Now they do, but before they didn't.
Yeah.
So I think
brought out the release of
I think that's what they're looking at is, even you guys see like Berseria. Yeah, you could put the disc in and stuff like that, but there are people who are native to PS5. They only want the PS5 version of it because they, believe better graphics, things like that. They only want the PS5 version, so they're willing to buy it. I'm curious to know what the sales have been for remasters. That's what I'm curious
about. Well, obviously, probably doing pretty good if like a lot of companies are doing remastered of their old games.
And then, this one too, according to this, I don't know if it's a Tales of series, but see, they said characters a step back into the story. The 30th anniversary key visual by
characters from remastered titles
is now revealed. Characters from titles celebrating their anniversaries in 2025, 2026, along with characters from remastered titles.
And that's what they're saying. None of them are the only one that's not remastered is Tales of Abyss.
Well, I mean, also you want to think Arise here isn't isn't remastered. But Arise was good. And so that was the thing. I did not play a Tales game in a long time. And then you started going through it and told me, hey, if you want to play an RPG, you go through the Tales series. So I played Arise, and I really liked Arise, and I started going back and playing the other ones because I got burnt out from like playing these types of RPGs and stuff like that. But it's really good. But they say that
Tales of Abyss was a PS2 exclusive.
Yeah,
later
released on 3DS. The 8th main title in the series, following Luke. He'll venture into the unknown, so they don't know whether or not it's going to be. But more than likely, if they're showing off this picture. And they've already remastered most of them. They're going to more than likely.
Yeah, when we get to the other stories, this will make more sense then. But so our next story is about Godfall, the developers of Godfall.
Is it this one?
Yeah. So basically, from according to IGN, the developers of Godfall, scroll down. They said that they were shut down earlier this year, but apparently they're not, because now they're reappearing with the new shooter game that's coming to PC, PS5, and all that. So it shocked everybody because they thought that this company was done. And it shocked everybody because they're making a shooter, because Godfall, if none of you played it, which most of you never played, was basically like a hack and slash hero.
I would say it's like a Borderlands, but with kind of like knights, is basically what I would say. Because you got to get loot.
Yeah, because there's like loot boxes,
so like a loot, but it's like a rogue-like loot type of game. So I'd say it's like Borderlands, but with knights.
Well, not really, because I wouldn't consider it really like Borderlands, because it's not like.
Well, you had to farm for all like the. You think like you had to farm for all the rarities of weapons. Go back and keep playing. Like I remember there was this one in Godfall when I started going through the platinum. Like you stand there and they attack you, and then it's like this ability that you can like block it. This thing comes up to block it much better, and then you can counter them. So like I had to farm for that for the longest time. The same guy, like it was like 3 bosses. I had to go through all 3 of them and beat them, and then. Same thing too. You had builds like you had a fire build, you had a like an ice build, like the poison builds and things like that. And early on though, playing the Godfall, like you didn't when that game first came out.
There was no guide for it.
There wasn't really any guide, so I had to sit there and like I started reading things. But you know how it gets when you're looking up things and people
were like, "Oh, this build is perfect. This is the best build."
That's the trap I fall into all the time when people are all like, "This is the best build," and then I try it and it's not as good because for whatever reason they got all the most powerful stuff that I don't have.
Or they're not playing it on the console; they're playing it on the PC.
Yeah, so it's like
you could pretty much like hack it.
I don't have anything. I'm not good at it, So, but they're releasing this game Armatus. It's a roguelike shooter coming to PC and consoles in 2026. So it's shocking because they were talking about bankruptcy, Godfall. Like I would say Godfall isn't the best game, but I don't think it's dismissed as like a game that it's like the worst game ever created. I think it has its perks if you like that type of genre. For me, the only reason why I got it was because that was the only attractive game at the time I thought was pretty good.
And it was a PS5 launch title.
It was
actual different game, not a remaster or whatever of a previous.
And I didn't want to get Astrobot, and because everybody was platinuming Astrobot, so I was like, I wanted a game, but I was laughing though because I played this around Christmas time. I put it in over like 100. I believe it was 100 hours. Yeah, maybe it was close to 100 hours. But I remember we were going to go see Christmas lights, and we were trying to watch Home Alone, and I was like, oh, can I pause it? And I paused it because you had to get to, I believe it was like stage 50. Yeah. I was at like 48. And I been playing this game, it was like a Saturday or Sunday night.
Because you only get like so many deaths before you have to restart it all.
And I'm just sitting there grinding out this game. And it's like, it's my last trophy for the platinum. And I'm just like, good grief. Like, come on, let me... And so, it was like, basically, take a break for me to go do something. And when you get back to it, you're like... oh, my skills ain't working anymore. So it's like, oh, geez, what am I going to do? And finally I got to it, and I was excited about it. And then they ended up patching it to where...
they made it so much easier.
A little bit easier. I wouldn't say so much, but a little bit. But this is a game I would like to... I haven't got back into it, so I'm...
And they brought it to PS4, too.
But I'd like to go back to it and play the... the DLC that they gave us and finish it up and try new builds and stuff like that. They fixed up a lot of the stuff later on after I stopped playing it. Like, they helped you figure out, like, which ones were the rarities and which ones were...
Yeah.
They let you lock items that, like, if you had a... Because before it was, like, you'd scrap everything and then you may have scrapped something that you were using.
Yeah.
So, they improved a lot of things. But like I said, I don't think it's... If you like roguelike games like that, I think it's a good game to play.
This game kind of gives me the Outsiders vibe. So it's basically like a shooter type thing.
Outsiders was good too.
Outsiders was a good game. Just with the roguelites though is you only get like basically like one life basically, and what your one build is. You don't get to really pick it as much.
But see, and that's where I think like I'm fatigued with games like this too because of playing Diablo 4. For me, it was like Diablo 4 ruined the franchise
Diablo for me.
It ruined these roguelike games for me. But when we played through Borderlands 3, I enjoyed it. And I think it's because we were playing co-op. But it was like, now I want to play Borderlands 4 again. I'm kind of getting back into it. But it was like Diablo ruined it because the way that they built it, like a lot of these roguelike games, they build it to where you have to put in like 1,000 hours if you want to go and get this game. Like 500 hours if you want to go, like, just get the platinum or even good gear at in-game and stuff. Like, they force you to play over and over and over. And so what I did not know about Godfall, though, was this was one of those types of games where basically you just beat the game and then you start doing your build, like, right at the end. So you had to grind out, like, specific, I think there was, like, specific types of kills you had to do and stuff like that. So you had to grind out different things like that. And so the game... I mean, at the time, I think the game... I don't see really, like, anybody on my friends list playing games like that now, you know? But I think it's one of those... it's a good game. In my opinion, I think, you know... Like I said, if you like roguelike, if you like the Borderlands, the Outriders and stuff like that... Like, I want to go back and play Outriders, but it's also...
Finish up the DLC on
that. But it's like one of those two...
But that's another studio that didn't it close down too? Or they left Sony or something, or Square Enix or something?
I believe they left Square Enix because they were saying, though, that, like, they were promised certain things and ended up not happening. But I think Outriders also... the problem with that, though, was they just didn't have, like, a lot... They could have done more, I think, with Outriders. It was fun. I think Outriders is fun when you play, like, multiple people.
Yeah, they should have made it a 4-person shooter.
They should have.
Instead of a 3, because there's 4 builds. So you'd only be playing with 3. Like, they should have made it a 4-1 so that each person can have a different build.
And that's a thing. I think what they should do in games like this, like with the roguelike, is get you into... Because you think, like, people like us... you know, work, stuff like that. We don't have a lot of time to be able to play games. But, like, if I wanted to try out your game, like, if I want to try out this Armatus, you need to put it in where it's, like, scale it to where I don't have to spend, like, 1,000 hours just trying to beat your game to get good at it because I need to get all the gear. Because other people, like, you know, their job, they play games and stuff like that. They can put in all the time to be able to play your game. But they need to scale it to where it's, like, if you're just starting out, make it fun enough, make it where, like, your gear is strong enough to get you through that portion of the game. Like, I can see... Make
it seem like you're OP'd, and then you're like, okay, cool, and then when you beat the game, it's like the post-game where all the skill level...
But I think they should scale your level, basically, like... So, I'm not halfway through the game and I gotta grind for gear just to beat the next part. Like, I think they should just allow it to where... Not an easy mode, but allow it to where, like... Oh, if I go to a shop, I could buy the gear. That gear is good enough to get me through the game. And then make the hard part in-game, where now, because I'm in-game, I'm grinding gear. That's my whole point of the in-game, is to grind gear, go through levels, things like that, get the best stuff. So that's where I think that in these roguelike games, they should scale to your level. So, I mean, it's more enjoyable. I think more people would be like, oh, yeah, like, I don't have to go for a crazy build to beat this game. Then you think of, like, going back to Diablo 4. I had to ask people for the Uber Lilith because I did not have enough time to put in to get my gear up to beat Uber Lilith just to be able to.
Well, not just that though. Portion. With Diablo 4, the problem I had is like you kind of make it where it's like, oh, you can play how you want to play, but then you favor one like build. Like for instance, like the Rogue. I wanted to be the rogue where I could just stand back, shoot it with the bow and arrow, do the bunch of moves, get them so they don't do it. But when you look at the tree and you look at the builds and the armor that they give, they want you to be the dual-wielding rogue. Well, I don't want to be the dual-wielding rogue. And so all that stuff to go and do the builds and stuff like that, like, did not favor me. So I could not really finish most of the stuff that I wanted to go and finish. And when you put it on the harder, like, torment difficulties, like, I'd get owned because the rogue wasn't made for that. Now it was made for close combat. If I switched to the daggers and then do my build to the daggers, like, yeah, then I could be OP'd. But I'm like, you try to make these characters for, why make the alternate version of it?
Yeah.
And what also I didn't like about Diablo 4, maybe they fixed it now, is you weren't able to have two loadouts. So I wanted to do it where, like, maybe I could switch to the dual wielding and then switch back to the bow and arrow ones.
Yeah.
And you had your armors and all that stuff like that for the situation. They didn't have that. So it's like I had to stick with the one build. So I didn't like that. But
yeah.
So our next story is talking about retro gaming. So basically retro gaming is dead. Because here they say...
I think it is, yeah.
Here they said that they're working on trying to convert the
PS3 support for modern consoles.
Well, the cell processor that the PS3 was built in there to make it work on PS5 and PS6 and all that stuff to bring those PS3 games that are stuck on the console to it, which is a good thing because that's what they should do. But in the other story we have... a YouTuber that goes by the name Mystic.
I'm sure everybody knows.
Yeah. Talked
Mystic,
about, go to the other one, financially viability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mystic, he talked to one of the companies that actually did...
That are working these PS3.
They did these retro gaming and stuff like that. And they said that the PS1 and PS2 games for modern consoles are hard to... bring out because, like, yeah, they would love to have every retro game on their console because that's, good for people to come to their console and pay all this money for it and stuff like that. But they found out that a lot of NDAs and copyrights and ownership of it is harder to work around on it. Especially, they said, like, if somebody has died that owns, like, let's say they own the Breath of Fire franchise and that owner dies, now they gotta pay all these legal fees and stuff like that to try to see if they can get the owner, like, the rights to it back so that then they can go make it. So it was like back in the day there was two big companies that actually, like, made the game. So, like, if you look at Breath of Fire, it was Squaresoft that helped Capcom bring out that game. So now who actually owns the Breath of Fire? Because once they went to 2, Capcom made it completely from 2 on. So does Square Enix own that because they were Squaresoft? Or does Capcom own the rights to it? So it's like, that's why Breath of Fire is not coming out to it. I mean, they could bring out Breath of Fire 3, but now does Capcom want to bring out Breath of Fire 3, or are they going to bring out their own collection? So this is the problem that Sony's facing with their retro gaming ones, that they try to promise that they were going to bring it out, but the problem is other companies don't want to bring it out.
Backwards compatibility. Is there a way that you can get your cell processor into a PS5 or even through a patch and be able to just put my disc inside there like Xbox could do, and you put the disc in, you download that onto your console, and then you can put the disc in.
Yeah. Well, the difference was between Xbox is they were future-proofing it from Xbox One, because it was basically all the Xboxes were basically built the same, just more powerful. So that's why the discs were able to read and do it. But for Sony, they wanted it to be different. So when they made their PS3, they made it where...
Yeah, but you gotta look at, like...
They couldn't do it.
They're talking about these PS1 and PS2 games, right? It's not like they're upscaling it, and then they're adding all this other... It's basically like... Well, they are upscaling it in a sense of...
And they're adding trophies
being able
and
to
stuff
play
like that.
trophies like that. But how much does that cost to be able to recoup your money back? Because right here they're saying...
They're saying that one of the companies say that, that's just a little bit of the money. Like, we're making millions and billions of dollars off of it.
The Shower recalled one meeting he had with a high-ranking executive pointing out his company turns over $3 billion a year.
Yeah.
The paltry profits being touted for retro release doesn't even register on the radar of some of these large firms.
So they're like, oh, why would we go back to it? We're making billions.
But that's my question then. So let's say, though, per game, let's just say $500. So you mean to tell me, though, you put that game up there and then you don't make back your $500, so it's not worth it? Like, what you're looking at the scale, in my opinion, is like, how hard is it to be able to go through all this stuff? Like, especially now, I understand, you have your NDAs or things like that. Like, how much does it cost to get your NDA? How much does it cost to, get the rights, things like that, and then ask Sony to be able to publish it and do all those things? Well, to me, I think it's more of the money value thing, because they don't see it as something. If they can sell a $70 game to you versus a $10 game, that's what
it pretty much is because Sony has a price set for retro games. Mm-hmm. So, like, PS1 would be like, okay, it can't be more than, $10.
Yeah.
So, any of the game on there would have to be for something up to $10.
But you gotta
think, PS2 games, like, let's say up to 20.
But
so these companies are like,
people aren't going to buy a Final Fantasy X if you put it on there for a PS2 at $50.
No.
Like, it doesn't make sense to do it.
That's why they're like, we don't want to do it based off of the price margin that Sony sets for these retro games, because they're like, we can throw in a $80 game and we can sell 2 of those and make all this profit and stuff.
They could do a remake and all that.
Yeah, that's why they don't see any of that valuable.
What I think they need to do is they need, like, a lot of these companies, they need to have just a smaller team that works on things like that and be able to say, okay, here's the thing, here's what, because, ultimately at the end of the day, if you went to Sony and you were all like, here's what we want, and it's favorable for both sides, like, they're going to do it. And so if you had a smaller team that was like, I want you to release these 5 games that we own the license to back, on our back catalog, they're willing to do it. And that's what it really comes down to.
I'm like, what, you don't like money? Like
a $70
you would think that
game? But
this is basically like.
But if this is
like an endless cash flow,
$3 billion, whatever it is, but due to NDAs, he wasn't able to elaborate on how companies' relationship. And saying that's the thing too is, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to profit. If this guy's turning $3 billion, okay, I'm not going to be able to sell a Tales of Destiny on a PS1 for $10.
Yeah,
I need to sell 30 million copies to be able to get back my, like, that's the way that they're looking at it at the end of the day.
The way I would look at it is this is a continuous cash flow, because, like, let's say you give the rights to it and it's $10 if you buy it, but if Sony has the premium service of the Plus, they get it for free. So it's like you get, like, let's say as a company you're getting 20% of all the PlayStation Plus memberships, and you get 40% of all the games that you pay at full price. So that may be pennies to $1 to you, but you're getting a continuous cash flow of, as long as this person has PlayStation Plus, you're continuing getting money. If necessarily not everybody buys your game at the price that's for the full price on it, but they still have all these people for the Plus membership.
Yeah, but that's why I think it's twofold, though, because you think of what, like, the what they talk about with Xbox Game Pass. They say, like, they agree to put it on day one or whatever, but the money doesn't outweigh what they would do if they did normal sales. But then, two, I think if Sony were to do that, they'd raise the price of the PS Plus, because you got to think, if all those companies came back and said, yeah, well, we want, like a flat fee of, let's just say, $10,000. All those companies come back and want $10,000, they're going to raise our price for the PlayStation Plus to recoup. Because remember, Netflix did the exact same thing.
When all these publishers Sony's already raised our prices.
Wanted to do things like that. Like, at the end of the day, they're going to raise the price because they got to pay for all the publishers who want their thing. So I do think there's pros and cons, but I do think companies, just for the sake of gaming, because there are a lot of people today who want to play those old school games, but have no way of playing those old school games.
That's what the preservation is always the best thing, because
they need a preservation project.
Yeah, these things will get stuck. Like, even like some of these museums that are like for consoles and gaming and stuff like that, like they even want to preserve these so that they could bring out a copy on it, because it'll be just like, let's say for like movies, if they don't keep re-releasing these movies on like 4K Blu-ray like that, they're gonna lose the coding for it. But even, and then they're not going to have it
I know
anymore.
a lot of people go, "Oh, I can emulate and things like that, play on my computer." Okay, great, like you could do that, but there are a lot of people who can't, and so you got to think. Going back to like your Tales of Destiny, how easily able are you if you started really liking Arise and all these remasters? How easily able are you to go back and play Abyss? Play the PS2. Can't think of the PS2 era ones. Legendia, like things like that, or even Destiny 1 and 2. How could you go back and play those if it's not on a console? Most people are playing consoles.
Yeah, because it's like,
they love their RPGs.
I gotta go find my PS1, hook it up, find it that if it can even work with these TVs, because a lot of TVs now don't have
buy
the
a lot of
CRT stuff.
If I can hook it up, then I gotta buy the accessories to put the cords in there, and then
do all this stuff just to play. Is it really worth then going back to it? Whereas if you sell it for a certain amount and you bring it up more modernized, I mean, you don't even have to put trophies or upscale it. Just bring the game out.
You can bring the game out. There are people who will have PlayStation Plus and just test it,
and then we'll just buy it out and stuff like that. Or maybe leave it to the customers, because there's these people out there that have redone the servers of games that have already died out. Like, give it to the community, and let them go and do and put trophies and stuff in there.
Emulated like PS1 games, why not approach those people and say, "Hey, you've done a great job of this emulation. Okay, like." Let's see if we could get through the legal hurdles of all the NDAs and stuff like that. But let's bring you on of doing these emulations. You already have the coding for everything you put in there. We will take it over, do it all. I think, and that, ultimately, like we said, it comes down to money, because they don't see the value in it and things like that. But you could approach these people who do these things, who enjoy resurrection servers and emulating, things to be able to get out for a community.
And then plus it's like,
people like doing that.
A lot of these people nowadays, it's like, okay, so they bring out this new game, but how are you going to really appreciate it when the other games were before it that makes it come out? So it's like with like the Tales, like, I like Tales of Arise, but why did that series even make it this long? No, because of these other ones, but I can't play these other ones. So I think that for the sake of trying to preserve these medias and stuff like that, I mean, if they can't bring it out, then they should just say they can't bring it out. Like with Final Fantasy Tactics, they said that they lost the original coding for one of the I think for the War of the Lions one, and so they had to build this all by scratch and build new codes on it, because they couldn't just bring in an upscale, so they had to redo everything.
And that's Final Fantasy Tactics,
And so they came out and told us, like, I lost the code, so it's going to have to be this version of the game, not this version of the game, because we lost the code and we can't figure out how to do it. And they had to go look
at the emulators of people
who's created it
to be able to help build
get that code that they're missing.
So that's why I think they need to get some of these guys who
have the community help,
who can emulate and do a good job, that it actually runs really well. And be able to just approach Sony and say, hey, like, we can do it. Here's what we want.
Yeah, because Sony has
with the contract.
Sony has a company that's like a small company that are doing these remastered stuff like that. All they got to do is get the okay from the company, and then they can go and bring it out.
Yeah.
So right now it looks like only in the future it's only going to be Sony company games that are going to be coming out to this thing. Which then, to me, I think that they should lower the premium price then, because now, if not all these retro gaming are coming out, then why am I paying more money for it? To me, I think that that's not worth the price then to pay, $150 or whatever it is to play retro games, because they told me, but it's not retro game, it's just Sony games. So it's basically like having that PlayStation box, the one that had their games that were the PlayStation Mini. Like, it's basically like that now, because I it's only going to be Sony games. It's not going to be any other games on there.
And I think who would be good at partnering with this is Square Enix, because you put Chrono Trigger on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. You'll get like when they put Legend Dragoon in there, everybody wanted to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Brave Fencer Musashi is a game I've been wanting to go back and play for the longest time. Put that game in there.
Yeah, even put the second one that sucked, but put that one on there.
But you can put these games in there and be able to like it be fun enough to be able to play it and go back, because they're like, I don't think I have touched a classic game since I want to say like Wild Arms 2, because there hasn't been anyone that's like out there for me to be like, oh yeah, sure, I will play this over Horizon. But there hasn't been a good enough game, and I even though Wild Arms 2 glitched on me, I was still going like, hey, this is one of those that I would love to be able to play. So,
and you don't even have to create your own trophies. Sony has a way where they can just randomly come up with the trophy for it.
Look at the Tekken games. So.
So yeah, I think it's sad to know that retro games are dead, and they're probably not going to be coming back because
probably not for a long time.
Because publishers are not on board with this, which is weird because Microsoft, they were all over it because they did it with all their
That's
Microsoft
like probably
games.
the only place you can think of with Xbox was that they did a good job of preserving their backward. Like all their games, a handful could not be backwards compatible. That's that's a great job.
I mean, Nintendo's going to be following with this problem pretty soon.
I think
too,
so. It's going to be
because
tough on Nintendo.
I mean, yeah, they bring out Mario on like every console and they buys out every single time, but they're going to start falling in this category where Nintendo games are only going to be on their system, but not these other companies, because like for Square Enix, for example, why haven't they brought out Chrono Trigger? Because I think secretly they're making the 2D HD version of Chrono Trigger and then going to drop it. Because they brought out Chrono Cross and they had no problem bringing that one out and did the HD stuff.
HD, which is a game I'm going to...
So like, they'll make a bunch of money bringing out Chrono Trigger because everybody wants Chrono Trigger on there. And then especially because the artist is Akira Toriyama, and he was also the artist for the Dragon Quest games, and all the Dragon Quest games are selling like hotcakes. So
yeah, they're doing really
like this
well.
Should be, the time to bring it out. Yeah, and then I also think Capcom's not bringing out retro gaming on there because they're probably going to be bringing out a collection of
like Resident Evil and the
I mean they brought back their Resident Evil series on it, so maybe they'll do that. But then again, also maybe not, because their collection ones didn't really sell too much when they brought out like that Marvel vs. Capcom. Like that didn't
just barely hit that like million mark.
Barely hit that one there. So so that's it of all the stories we have. Put your comments below whether you think retro gaming is dead or it's just about to get started with this whole PS3 emulation coming. Put your favorite retro game down there. And we're trying to grow this channel here, trying to get to 10 subscribers before the end of the year. That's pretty low, but we're trying to hit that goal.
Let's keep getting that goal up.
Yep. So I'm Dark Knight 316. That's Robert Wheeler Gaming, and this has been the Roundtable Podcast. So we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you.
God bless you guys. Have a good one.
Yep.